trouble with average is that it sneaks in quietly. Nobody wakes up thinking, today, I'll live beneath my potential. It doesn't happen in big, obvious moments. It happens through small compromises, subtle habits, and tiny decisions that seem harmless in the moment. Over time, they pile up until you're living a life you never planned for. And the thing about average is, it's never loud. It doesn't come with sirens or flashing lights. It settles in like an old friend, making you feel comfortable. And once comfortable becomes normal, extraordinary starts to feel out of reach. Average doesn't strike suddenly. It drips in slowly. And that's exactly what makes it dangerous. Mr. Schoaf used to warn me, be careful. Average is contagious. And he was right. Most people live average lives because that's what they see around them. Average goals, average effort, average results. And if you spend enough time surrounded by people who are satisfied with mediocrity, it begins to feel acceptable, even natural. Before you know it, your own standards start to slip. But life was never meant to be lived that way. You weren't created to fade into the background. You were made to stand out. The reason most people settle for average is simple. It's easy. Average doesn't demand that you stretch yourself. It doesn't ask you to face your fears or grow beyond what's comfortable. It just asks you to stay in the safe zone where things are predictable and familiar. But that safety comes at a huge cost, your potential. Every day you accept average, you trade away a piece of your dreams, your ambitions, and your future. It feels harmless in the moment, but over time, it weighs heavy with regret. You eventually realize just how much you gave up for the comfort of average. The good news is, you don't have to accept average, not even for one more day. You can choose excellence instead. And excellence isn't about perfection. It's simply a decision that you won't settle for less than your best. It's the act of saying average isn't good enough. Not for me, not anymore. That single choice made clearly and with conviction changes the direction of your life. The life you truly want doesn't come from average habits or average thinking. It comes from extraordinary choices, intentional action, and consistent discipline. Average comes with a price, but so does excellence. The difference is that excellence pays you back with fulfillment, achievement, and a life you're proud to live. When you reject average and choose excellence, you find that the extraordinary is always just beyond your comfort zone. Average has a way of pulling you in like quicksand. At first, you don't even notice. Life feels steady enough, comfortable enough, but that's the trap. It disguises itself as safety. Then, little by little, you start to settle, and every time you settle, you give away a piece of what you could have been. That's the real cost of average. It quietly steals from you until there's nothing left to take. People stay in average lives because average is familiar. It doesn't push you or demand growth. It allows you to stay right where you are. But the comfort zone is a quiet killer because nothing grows there. Your potential shrinks. Your ambition fades. Dreams turn into maybes and somedays, and someday often never comes. Average isn't harmless. It's a slow thief. It often starts with little habits, delaying your goals, accepting work that doesn't inspire you, staying in relationships that drain you. None of it feels urgent to change. You tell yourself, I'll fix it later. But later never really comes, does it? And over time, those small compromises set the new standard. Average becomes normal. And once it feels normal, it becomes much harder to break free. And just like Mr. Schoaf said, average spreads. If the people you're around expect little from themselves, you'll start expecting little from yourself. That's why you must choose your circle carefully. Surround yourself with people who demand excellence, and excellence will feel like the standard. Surround yourself with mediocrity, and mediocrity will be your ceiling. Average isn't just about the results you get. It's about the mindset you carry. Average thinking says, that's good enough, or why push harder, or I'm doing fine compared to everyone else. But fine isn't the goal. Fine doesn't create fulfillment or joy. It simply leaves you with quiet frustration, lingering disappointment, and missed opportunities. And here's the thing. Average is expensive. With money, average habits keep you stuck in financial stress. With health, average choices quietly drain your energy and shorten your life. With relationships, average effort leads to shallow connections and growing distance. Average costs you in every area of life, and the bill only grows bigger over time. But you don't have to keep paying that price. Average isn't permanent. It's a choice. And you can choose, starting today, to raise your standards, to demand more from yourself, to build a life defined by excellence, not comfort. The shift may not transform everything overnight, but it will change your direction immediately. And once you're moving toward excellence, you're already leaving average behind. Choosing excellence over average means doing what's necessary, not just what's easy. It means deciding to pursue your goals, even when you're tired or uncertain. It means embracing challenges, discomfort, and growth. It means refusing to settle for what feels safe today in exchange for what will fulfill you tomorrow. Average might be easy right now, but excellence pays you back tenfold in the long run. In satisfaction, in achievement, in a life that truly excites you. And you deserve nothing less than that. Don't wait until the price of average becomes obvious. Decide right now to raise your standards. Decide today to pursue extraordinary instead of settling for easy. Average is easy, but average is expensive. Excellence takes effort, but excellence is priceless. Your extraordinary future begins the moment you refuse to settle for average and consciously choose to rise above it. And I'm telling you, once you experience life above average, you'll never accept mediocrity again. The reason most people never rise above average isn't complicated. It's easier to blend in than to stand out. Choosing excellence means stepping away from the crowd. And for many, that feels risky. It feels uncertain. It takes courage. But here's the catch. If you never step away from the crowd, you'll always be limited by the crowd. You'll never discover what you're truly capable of. You'll never tap into your full potential. You'll simply settle into the safe, predictable life that average offers and miss out on the extraordinary life that excellence promises. You know, early on, Mr. Schoaf challenged me. He said, Jim, don't live like everyone else unless you want to end up like everyone else. And that made me stop and think. Because, let's face it, most people aren't exactly living lives of passion, purpose, and achievement. They're quietly tolerating lives that aren't truly satisfying. Because it's easier to do that than to take bold action. But easier isn't better. Easier doesn't fulfill you. Easier doesn't give you pride, joy, or the satisfaction of knowing you're living your potential. Easier just quietly costs you your dreams. Here's why people stay average. Because they underestimate the power of small choices. They think greatness comes from big, dramatic decisions. But here's the truth. Your life is shaped by thousands of tiny choices every single day. What you choose to do or not do each morning, how you manage your time, the small habits you build, all of these quietly determine your results. Average happens gradually through repeated small decisions to accept less, to take shortcuts, or to delay action. But excellence also happens gradually through consistent decisions to push just a little harder, do a little better, to refuse mediocrity one day at a time. Here's something I've observed over and over. Average feels comfortable today, but it becomes deeply uncomfortable later on. The comfort of average always turns into regret, missed opportunities, and quiet frustration. But excellence is the opposite. It's uncomfortable today, but deeply rewarding later on. The initial discomfort of striving for more, of demanding more from yourself, that discomfort fades quickly, replaced by confidence, achievement, pride. Excellence is uncomfortable up front, but incredibly satisfying in the end. Average is comfortable up front, but it always leaves you empty. Choose your discomfort wisely. I want you to think about your relationships for a moment. The average person puts average effort into their relationships, expecting extraordinary results. But average effort never produces extraordinary relationships. It produces average connections, superficial, unsatisfying, fragile. Extraordinary relationships come from intentional effort, deep communication, and genuine care. They come from consistently giving more than average. If you settle for average relationships, you quietly accept loneliness, disconnection, and emptiness. But choose excellence in your relationships, and you'll enjoy deep connections, trust, and true fulfillment. The difference is extraordinary, and it all begins with your decision not to settle. Here's another area in life that you don't want to settle for average: money. Most people settle for average financial habits, spending impulsively, saving occasionally, investing rarely, and then they wonder why they're stressed, limited, and stuck. But average financial habits guarantee average results: limited freedom, limited options, limited peace of mind. If you want extraordinary financial results, you must adopt extraordinary financial habits. You must refuse impulsive spending, save consistently, invest intentionally. Excellence in finances means discipline, consistency, clear priorities. But the reward? Financial freedom, security, and the resources to live life on your terms. Excellence always pays back more than average ever could. And think about your health. This is where most people settle for average. Average health habits, poor eating, little exercise, inadequate rest, quietly steal your vitality. They limit your energy, lower your productivity, and shorten your life. And yet, average health is exactly what most people settle for. But why settle? Why tolerate being tired, weak, or unhealthy when you could feel energetic, strong, and vibrant? Excellence in your health is simple. Small, consistent actions like better nutrition, regular exercise, proper rest. The reward is extraordinary: energy, strength, productivity, and years added to your life. Health excellence requires discipline, yes, but it gives back vitality, confidence, and happiness beyond measure. See, here's the idea. Average comes at a price, but excellence pays you back generously. Average quietly costs you your dreams, your happiness, your fulfillment. Excellence demands discipline and discomfort at first, but pays back tenfold in achievement, satisfaction, and joy. And you don't have to choose excellence everywhere at once. Start in just one area. Start with one choice, then another, then another. Pretty soon, excellence becomes your standard. Pretty soon, average is no longer acceptable. Pretty soon, you realize you're living a life you're genuinely proud of, one you've consciously designed, rather than one you've simply tolerated. So here's what I ask of you today. Refuse average. Refuse mediocrity. Raise your standards, even just slightly, and watch your life start to transform. Make excellence your habit, and you'll find that you were never meant for average. You were meant for so much more. And it all begins with your decision to stop settling and start striving. The life you truly desire isn't found in average actions. It's found in extraordinary commitment, clear intention, and consistent discipline. And that choice, that powerful intentional choice, is entirely yours. Choosing excellence over average begins with one simple decision: deciding you deserve better than what you've been settling for. Now, that might sound obvious, but the truth is, most people never fully make that decision. They think about it, they talk about it, but they never commit to it. Not deeply enough to change their actions or their habits. But real excellence, the kind that transforms your life, requires commitment. It requires that you refuse consciously and deliberately to accept anything less than your best effort every single day. When Mr. Schoaf first told me to demand excellence from myself, I wasn't sure what he meant. He said, excellence isn't about perfection. It's about consistently choosing to do more than what's required. Now that makes sense, right? Excellence doesn't ask for perfection. It asks for intention. It's about taking your ordinary activities and giving them extraordinary effort. It's about refusing shortcuts and committing to doing things the right way, even when it's inconvenient. Excellence isn't complicated. It's simply about choosing to be your best, intentionally, consistently, every single day. This is how you start choosing excellence. You start by raising your standards. Your standards determine what's acceptable in your life. Your work, your health, your relationships, your finances. If your standards are average, your life will reflect exactly that. Average results. But the moment you raise those standards, everything starts changing. Your habits improve, your actions become intentional, your results become extraordinary. High standards aren't about arrogance or perfection. They're simply about refusing to tolerate anything less than your best effort. They're about holding yourself accountable, consistently. Raising your standards begins with this question: what am I no longer willing to accept? Think carefully about that. Maybe it's no longer accepting average health habits that rob your energy. Maybe it's no longer tolerating work that doesn't fulfill you. Maybe it's no longer settling for relationships that don't uplift you. The moment you clearly define what you're unwilling to accept, your standards automatically rise. And once your standards rise, your actions follow. You start saying no to average, no to mediocrity, no to anything that doesn't align with excellence. And soon, excellence becomes your new normal. But here's what I've learned over the years. Excellence requires discipline. Discipline isn't something you're born with. It's something you build, one choice at a time. People hear discipline and they imagine something rigid or harsh. But that's not discipline at all. Discipline simply means consistently doing what you know is necessary, even when you don't feel like it. It means making small sacrifices today for greater rewards tomorrow. Discipline is the price you pay for excellence. And the truth is, it's far less expensive than regret, disappointment, or missed opportunities. Now, discipline doesn't have to be complicated. It starts small, simple habits repeated consistently. Maybe it's waking up 30 minutes earlier every day to plan your goals. Maybe it's exercising for 20 minutes daily, reading 15 pages, or setting aside 10% of your income each paycheck. Discipline is built through repetition, through small intentional choices made consistently over time. You don't need perfection, just consistency. Every disciplined choice strengthens your willpower, builds your confidence, and moves you closer to excellence. So here's the key. You have to eliminate excuses. Excuses quietly rob people of their potential. They're easy, comforting, and convenient, but they produce exactly zero results. Those who settle for average often rely on excuses. They say they're too tired, they don't have enough resources, or that the challenge is too difficult. But those who strive for excellence take a different approach. They don't say they can't. They look for how they can. They don't see difficulty as a stop sign. They commit to finding a way through. Eliminating excuses shifts a person from being passive to being active, from hesitation to decisiveness, from average to extraordinary. The moment you eliminate excuses, your energy shifts immediately. Your mind stops looking for reasons to fail and starts searching for ways to succeed. And what's remarkable is this: when you stop tolerating excuses, solutions appear. Opportunities become clear. You become resourceful, creative, determined. Excuses limit you. Removing them expands your potential dramatically. Excellence isn't about perfect conditions or ideal circumstances. It's about your refusal to allow excuses to determine your results. Here's something to consider. Average people wait for motivation before they take action. Excellent people understand that action creates motivation. If you wait until you're motivated, you'll spend your life waiting. But if you take action consistently, whether you feel motivated or not, your motivation naturally increases. Action creates momentum. Momentum fuels motivation. Motivation strengthens discipline. And discipline produces excellence. The key isn't waiting to feel motivated. It's acting decisively until motivation shows up. That's how you move from average to extraordinary results. Choosing excellence isn't complicated, but it requires intentional effort every day. It demands discipline, clear standards, and the refusal to settle. Excellence asks that you stop making excuses and start creating results. But here's the reward. Once you experience excellence, average will never be acceptable again. You'll find that you're capable of more than you ever imagined, that your potential is extraordinary, and that your future isn't something you tolerate. It's something you create. Make excellence your standard, discipline your habit, and excuses unacceptable, and your life will become something truly remarkable. When you commit yourself fully to excellence, something remarkable begins to happen. Your entire mindset shifts. You stop looking at challenges as obstacles and start seeing them as opportunities. Opportunities to grow, learn, and stretch your potential. Average thinkers see problems as roadblocks. Excellent thinkers see problems as stepping stones. And here's the fascinating part. The only difference between a roadblock and a stepping stone is how you choose to view it. Your perspective shapes your actions, and your actions shape your results. Excellence isn't just about what you do, it's about how you think. Mr. Schoaf said, excellence is a decision you renew every single day. Now think about that. Excellence isn't something you choose once and then forget about. It's something you must intentionally commit to again and again. Because life will test your commitment. Circumstances change, obstacles appear, setbacks occur. But excellence means choosing each day to remain committed despite those obstacles. Excellence means understanding that temporary setbacks don't define your journey. They simply test your resolve. And every test you pass strengthens your discipline, your confidence, your commitment. You see, average people quit at the first sign of trouble. They start strong, but when things get tough, they abandon their goals, lower their standards, and quietly settle back into comfort. Excellent people respond differently. They persist. They understand that challenges are part of the process. Setbacks aren't signs to quit. They're signals to learn, adjust, and become stronger. Excellence doesn't demand perfection. It simply demands persistence. The willingness to keep going when others stop, that's what separates average from extraordinary. Here's what else you got to do. You got to develop clear priorities. Average thinkers try to do everything, spreading their effort thin. Excellent thinkers understand the power of focus. They choose carefully what matters most, and then invest their time, energy, and resources intentionally into those areas. They don't chase every opportunity. They pursue the right opportunities. They don't waste energy on trivial things. They focus on what truly matters. Clear priorities produce results because excellence comes from consistently focusing your effort in the right direction. And here's what's powerful about excellence. It attracts excellence. When you consistently deliver your best effort, people notice, opportunities appear, resources become available, doors open that otherwise would have remained closed. Excellence attracts attention, not just because of the results you produce, but because of the attitude you demonstrate. People recognize intentional effort, discipline, and commitment. Excellence doesn't just transform your life. It transforms how the world responds to you. Average effort produces average responses, but excellence attracts extraordinary outcomes. Choosing excellence requires courage, because excellence means stepping beyond what's comfortable or familiar. It means taking risks, trying new things, pushing yourself further than you've gone before. But the greatest risk in life isn't trying and failing, it's never trying at all. Settling for average is the ultimate risk, because it guarantees you'll never discover your true potential. Choosing excellence might feel uncertain or uncomfortable at first, but it's the only path to genuine fulfillment, achievement, and joy. Courage isn't the absence of fear. It's the decision to act despite fear. And excellence demands exactly that kind of courage. You must be resilient, the ability to bounce back quickly from setbacks. Resilience isn't something you're born with. It's something you cultivate through practice. Every challenge you face, every setback you overcome, strengthens your resilience. Over time, setbacks no longer derail you. They simply make you wiser, stronger, and better prepared for future challenges. Resilience transforms problems into opportunities, obstacles into growth experiences. The more resilient you become, the more capable you are of consistently choosing excellence, regardless of circumstances. I'm telling you, the greatest price you'll ever pay in life isn't the price of discipline. It's the price of regret. You see, discipline weighs ounces, but regret weighs tons. The discomfort of discipline fades quickly, replaced by achievement, confidence, and pride. But the pain of regret lingers, quietly reminding you of what might have been if only you demanded more from yourself. Excellence requires discipline, yes, but it's far less expensive than the lifelong price of average. Excellence isn't just about living without regrets. It's about living fully, intentionally, and purposefully. So today, right now, you can decide to choose excellence over average. Refuse to tolerate mediocrity, refuse to accept less than your best, and refuse to settle. Choose intentional effort, consistent discipline, and clear priorities. Choose courage over comfort, resilience over excuses. Excellence isn't something that happens accidentally, it's something you actively create. Your extraordinary life begins the moment you decide that average is no longer acceptable. Excellence is your choice. Make it boldly, consistently, and intentionally. And you'll discover the life you truly desire isn't out of reach. It's waiting for you just beyond your decision to choose excellence. Pray. You see, it's not enough just to choose excellence once. Anybody can have a great day or even a great month. But maintaining excellence, That's what separates those who succeed from those who only wish they had. Because life has a funny way of testing your commitment, seeing if you really mean it. Things get difficult. Distractions show up. Excitement fades. And in those moments, most people quietly slip back into what's easy, familiar, and average. But not you. Not if you're truly committed to building an extraordinary life. You have to decide, and intentionally, every single day, to remain above average. Mr. Schoaf used to say, consistency beats intensity every time. You don't have to be extraordinary every day, but you do have to be consistent. And that's powerful advice, because here's the truth. Extraordinary results come from ordinary actions done consistently, day after day, year after year. You don't have to reinvent yourself every morning. You just have to show up. You just have to make the same small, disciplined choices every single day. Over time, those choices become habits, and those habits carry you further than you ever imagined possible. Consistency, simple consistency, is the real secret of lasting excellence. One reason so many people drift back into average is because they lose sight of their reasons. They forget why they started in the first place. When motivation fades, when things get tough, they don't have something strong enough to hold on to. So here's what you need: powerful reasons. Not vague reasons, not weak reasons, but reasons strong enough to maintain you through challenges, setbacks, and disappointments. Your reasons might be family, freedom, pride, personal achievement, whatever matters deeply to you. Because when your reasons are strong enough, quitting simply isn't an option. You press on, not because it's easy, but because your reasons are too powerful to ignore. You must learn to be flexible. Now, some people confuse consistency with rigidity, but those aren't the same thing. Rigidity says, I must always do things exactly the same way. But flexibility says, my goal stays the same, but my methods can change as needed. Life isn't predictable. Circumstances shift, obstacles appear, opportunities evolve. You have to be willing to adapt. If something isn't working, change your approach, but never lower your standards. Adjust your methods, but stay committed to your goals. Flexibility helps you navigate around obstacles rather than getting stuck. Remember, you can bend without breaking, and flexibility helps you maintain excellence long term. Here's what you got to keep in mind. You've got to stay alert to the subtle pull of average. It never disappears entirely. It quietly waits for you to lower your guard. Average is patient. It waits until you're tired, discouraged, or distracted, then quietly offers comfort and ease. But comfort and ease never lead to excellence. They always lead to compromise. Keep your standards clearly defined and regularly remind yourself of what you're unwilling to accept. Average doesn't show up dramatically. It sneaks back in quietly. Stay alert. Keep your standards visible, and you'll stay committed over the long term. Here's what else I learned from Mr. Schoaf. I mentioned this earlier, but it's so important. He taught me that your environment matters more than you realize. He'd say, Jim, if you're serious about staying above average, spend time with above average people. The people around you shape your standards. Spend time with those who demand excellence from themselves, and you'll find yourself raising your own standards naturally. If you're surrounded by people who tolerate mediocrity, you'll find your own commitment weakening. Choose your environment intentionally. Find mentors, friends, colleagues who expect more, who push you gently but consistently toward excellence. Environment matters. Choose wisely. Remember, lasting excellence isn't about perfection. It's about progress. Too many people give up because they expect perfection right away. Excellence doesn't work that way. You won't get it perfect every day. But the goal isn't perfection. The goal is steady improvement. Every day, just get a little better, a little stronger, a little wiser. Progress compounds over time. When setbacks occur, and they will, don't let frustration turn into quitting. Instead, learn from the setback, adjust your approach, and keep moving forward. Progress, no matter how small, is always better than perfection that never happens. And here's the real key to maintaining excellence long term. Never stop being a student. Remain curious, humble, and eager to learn. The moment you think you have all the answers, you stop growing. And when you stop growing, average catches up to you quickly. Lifelong learners always find ways to improve, adjust, and refine their approach. They're never satisfied with good enough. They know there's always more to learn, always room for growth. Excellence isn't static. It evolves constantly. The more you learn, the clearer your path becomes, the stronger your commitment grows, and the further you move from average toward extraordinary. Maintaining excellence isn't complicated, but it requires daily commitment. Consistency beats intensity. Strong reasons outweigh temporary motivation. Flexibility keeps you moving forward. Alertness protects you from slipping back. And continuous learning ensures constant growth. Choose these simple disciplines daily, and you'll find that long-term excellence isn't a burden. It's an incredible journey. The life you want isn't reserved for those with special talent. It's waiting for those who choose consistently, intentionally, to remain above average, day after day, year after year. Make that choice today and every day, and your life will truly become extraordinary. Average is a choice, but it's not the only choice. The great thing about life is that you're never truly stuck unless you choose to be. You can choose to demand more from yourself, starting right now. You can decide intentionally to build something extraordinary instead of quietly accepting what's comfortable. You have the power at any moment to shift your standards, your habits, your decisions, to move beyond average and into excellence. And once you truly realize this, once you see that average is nothing more than a quiet surrender, you'll refuse to tolerate it another day. Life rewards those who refuse to settle, those who raise their standards intentionally and consistently. Excellence is available to anyone willing to pay the price: discipline, commitment, daily intention. But here's what I've discovered. The price of excellence is always far less than the price of regret. Discipline might feel uncomfortable temporarily, but regret lasts forever. Choose carefully. Decide today not to pay the hidden, heavy price of average. Decide instead to invest your time, your energy, your actions into excellence, and your life will reward you richly. You were never meant to quietly blend in. You were never meant to tolerate life. You were meant to shape it. Don't wait another day to choose excellence. Don't quietly accept less than you're capable of achieving. Life is short, precious, and full of potential. Potential you deserve to experience fully. Raise your standards, eliminate your excuses, and act intentionally right now. Your extraordinary life isn't something you wait for. It's something you build. And you have everything you need to begin building it immediately. Make excellence your daily standard, your consistent discipline, your lifelong commitment, and your life will become something truly remarkable. Reject average intentionally, decisively, permanently. And from this moment forward, watch as your life moves from something you tolerate into something extraordinary, something you're proud of, something you genuinely love. Excellence is waiting for you. Choose it today and never look back.